Have you ever felt that everything you seem to do lately is going wrong? Well, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
Welcome to Reds Homestead!
Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome back to Red's Homestead. If it's your first time here, thank you for coming. We're a family homestead just starting out. This is our first year doing it. And first year doing most about everything that we're doing. So if you remember a couple days ago, or a couple videos ago at least, it was I was gonna make raised beds out of pine trees, and I completely failed and gave up. We're gonna finish that today. I'm determined to call today's video building raised beds out of pine trees, something like that. I'm determined. So you might notice, got our clothes hanging over there on our clothesline. So we did end up getting our Lowe's delivery for the second dryer, only to find out that wasn't the problem. Second dryer didn't work either. I wasn't here, but the delivery guys were kind enough to set everything up, and it still didn't work. So when I got home from work, I dug into the outlet, and that's where I found something scary. So our dryer that we had replaced, we replaced it because it ran all night long. After we turned it on, we woke up and it was still running, and we finally turned it off, and then it never turned back on, and it was kaput, as I said. Well, by being on for so long, it had completely melted the wiring inside the outlet, snapped the whole thing off. That's why the new dryer didn't work. It's because the wiring in the outlet was completely screwed up and melted away. Pretty scary, because that's a huge fire hazard, and that could have easily just went up in flames, but it didn't, thankfully. So I fixed all the wiring, new dryer's installed, dryer's working again. So just to give you an idea of how I start my recording process, usually if it's a day. If it's, a day that I'm working, it's, usually kind of a half video, not one of the long full day ones. But if it's a day that I'm off, usually I spend the first 10 minutes looking for my tripod, trying to remember where I set it. Then once I give up, I usually ask my wife, and she tells me where it is. And then I spend the next 5 minutes looking for my gloves. And I'm too stubborn to ask my wife, because I already asked her for one thing, but I usually end up having to, because I just can't find them. Which is the funny thing is, I just had them, and now I don't know where they are. I think I left them back in the workshop when I was going to grab this drill bit for today's project. Oh my gosh, did I really do that?
Yeah, those are all comfrey, and that's comfrey, and that's sage, and that's marigold. So we'll see.
So we got marigolds in the hanging pots. Sage, he said, are in those three right there. And that's all comfrey in those. And then that's all comfrey right there.
Yeah, you gave a lot of seeds.
I did. I had soaked them in water. Man, so this is pretty toasty in here.
It is toasty in here, and the lowest is gonna be a couple.
38.
Yeah.
What I saw. That's why. Here, while you're saying, I'll show you what I'm gonna do over here. Our daffodils are starting to bloom. I think that's
First
the first
sign of spring, except for those little flowers I keep seeing everywhere.
These might be. But so our last video we worked on. No, we didn't. This was 2 videos ago too. When did we work on this?
Well, we worked on it a couple days ago. Thursday. When were you off? Thursday.
I don't know. Well, whenever we worked on this bed right here, this is where the black bears are coming, and I believe they're coming sometime next week. But what I'm going to be planting in there right now, see those sweet peas, they are ready to be planted And I'm thinking I'm gonna plant them along this trellis here and let them grow on the trellis.
Yeah.
And then we'll put the blackberries intermingled with them, so the peas will kind of feed the blackberries.
Okay.
That's the game plan. But I have to get these guarded bed. I have to do this. This raised bed over here. I just pulled these from my inside greenhouse where I have grow lights and everything.
Yeah, much better.
And they're I think they're ready to go in the ground.
Yeah.
They're ready to start climbing. Yeah. And so before I start working on this, I'm gonna show right now the video of, this was a long time ago, not a long time ago, still quite a few days ago, of when we were actually cutting down the trees. I kind of split that video in half because I didn't really like what I was doing, and so I went on to a different project. So now I'm picking that project back up, and here's the beginning part of it. All right, experimental time. I'm gonna see if we can drag this log.
Sorry.
Nope, that didn't work. Starting to see it yet? But I do have to go cut down a couple more trees. Luckily, I have pine plenty to cut. Luckily and unluckily. So let's go cut another tree. I was originally gonna cut down these two pines, but now I'm kind of second guessing. I mean, they're big. They're pretty tall pines. I'm pretty decent at cutting these things, but if I screw up doing this by myself, those are my power lines. I'm gonna choose a different tree. All right, I think I found a better tree. See those leaning behind me? I'm gonna go ahead and knock those down. Just at least, because I'm here by myself. So, last thing I want is be knocking out power lines when nobody else is here. So let me knock this one out a little easier. Going as planned. It's hung up in vines. So it literally has one vine holding it, the whole thing up. A vine I can't reach. So I'm gonna try cut it as high as I can, and hopefully the weight will drop and snap that vine, and I don't get crushed in the process. What kind of vine is that? The entire tree is dangling in the air from a vine. I don't know how to get that down. Thought I was picking an easier tree. Oh, man. It's aggravating. Because now even if I wanted to cut it and still try to pull it down, then the logs wouldn't be long enough. I have to find a whole nother tree and hopefully that just falls on its own. So finding another tree didn't go exactly as planned. So I'm using some of the smaller logs that I had over there. It's just gonna be a little shorter than what I had in my head, but still should work just fine. And now I just gotta get everything cut to size. Ever felt that everything you seem to do lately is going wrong? Well, that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Right after I got everything sized and ready to start installing this raised bed, I get a phone call from work and I had an emergency and I had to run over there. So our original plan today is I worked early this morning and I was going to get home and finish this project this afternoon, because it's gonna rain all day tomorrow, which is my day off, so I was gonna have everything edited and done. But now I'm stuck. It's too late now. It's about 5 o'clock and it's supposed to rain at any minute, and I'm stuck with a half-finished project. Sometimes I think there's somebody up there that doesn't want me to do this. More than just that's going wrong. First it was the dryer. I had issues. Then when I was cutting these trees down, it was close calls and I couldn't find the right tree. And then the tree that I did way down there wouldn't fall because vines held it up. And now this. And the first design didn't work. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do this one day. Or maybe I'll just scratch this whole project entirely. We'll see. And before I sign out, I do have a question. Hopefully some of you guys have really stuck around to the end, because I'd like some answers of what some of you guys do for dust baths. I heard a good idea of using food grade diatomaceous earth plus maybe ash from firewood ash and mixing that together and using that like kind of 50-50. But I don't want to always have to buy DE. So if there's anything else you could think of, or using all firewood ash, does that work? I do have some source in the barn that I'm using right now, but with summer coming up, I can see them starting to want to. Here, let me show you. This has become their spot of where they like to kind of roll around. Need to get them an actual solution, although she's kind of moving strange. You okay, girl? Everything all right? Looks like she's having a hard time getting up. Like her left foot isn't working. Don't tell me this is in the nature of more things going wrong. You all right? Wonder if I should pick her up. All right, let me get in there. Let me turn off the fence. Let me get my wife is gonna want to see this. Oh, hold on. Looks like she kind of got up. She shouldn't be laying yet. wonder if she is. So, all right. If I don't know this answer by the time this video comes out, what does the first time your hen lays look like? Is it hard for them? Or is it something they're not used to? I'm gonna have to get on Google and figure that out, but maybe you guys have an answer for me if you've seen it before. Because that's not normal behavior. So I have no idea. I swear, I got it all on tape. She was acting weird. One of the lighter gray ones.
That one? Right
Might have been her. She had some dirt on her back. Yeah, and I thought she was just doing kind of like a dust bath.
Maybe. There's so many feathers. They're probably molting. Look at all those feathers.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And they're all like, what are you doing?
One time I had one and it was all over me. Look at the geese.
Ah.
As soon as I put it down, they all attacked her.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You see? I was a little like, what? I don't have anything. Greedy chicken.
Shannon just gave the most fantastic belch. But I'm not allowed to put that on the internet. Sorry, guys.
Wasn't that fantastic?